Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Jason.
And we are the Yahoo and the Torah YouTube channel.
We are so thankful for you joining us tonight. We're going over the book of Enoch. And for those who have not tuned in for the first time, us as a family, we believe that the laws, statutes, and commands are still intact. They are still with us today, and that we should be following them because they're all for all generations, and we are still there. We are still existing, and earth and heaven have not passed away. So we are still following the commands as Yehoshua, our Messiah, followed them.
And if any one of you guys will believe that, that's as slow as he actually speaks. So
That was really slow.
Put that to .75 on the YouTube playback there, and you might actually get it down to the normal speed.
I tried real hard on that.
Thanks, Joey. It was very nice. So that's exactly true. And we are that family that loves the law, statutes, and commands of our Creator, and we do not believe that they are gone. And so we are in Enoch right now. And gentlemen, what has happened prior to this? Can anyone give a quick rundown?
We've gone over mansions, all the kingdoms, how we are going to live with the Messiah, how he went to an ice crystal house thing where the Yahuwah and Yahusha came out of, where he actually met the Messiah, things like that, where the angels were taught the secret name of Yahusha, the Messiah, and things of that sort. Kind of just been a basic rundown of that. He's basically seeing most of the Messiah through this and everything.
Jade, what else do you have that you've come across?
We've seen how creation works, how everything works, like winds, sun, the moon, and I think we get more into that in this one as well. But we learn about how they come out of different things, like stars aren't just like in there. They have their certain times supposed to shine. Certain stars aren't supposed to shine at certain days, and everything in different areas of the earth has certain gates that have snow. Some don't have snow. Some have more rain than others, and it's just the way it works. And Enoch explains how these work and what he sees.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Eli, do you have anything else for us on this?
No.
All right, Eli's my shy guy, and so we got to make sure that. Hold on, we got dogs that are battling it out right here. All right, Nicole just fought 3 dogs. All right, let's get into this before some wacky stuff happens. All right, Enoch 72. Is everyone contained?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, the Sefer. Where's the water bottles, everyone? Sorry, everybody. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. The Sefer of the revolutions of the luminaries of heaven, according to their respective classes, their respective powers, their respective periods, their respective names, the places where they commence their progress, and their respective months, which Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, explained to me, he who conducted them. The whole account of them, according to every year of the world forever, until a new work shall be effected, which will be eternal. All right, what do you guys got?
Mine first starts off with astronomy.
Astronomy
Astronomy.
is what? Is the revolutions?
What this all is all about. And it says the book of the courses of the lights of the Shamayim, the relations of each, according to their classes, their dominion and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the Kadesh messenger, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me. And he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world and unto everlasting, till the new creation is accomplished, which endures till everlasting.
You guys have laws in yours? Mom says laws. I don't even know what.
Mine says laws.
Yeah.
Huh.
Where?
Yeah, I don't see that anywhere in there. Where's the
It's about halfway between.
It's under where it talks about Uriel being the Kadesh messenger.
He who conducts them, the whole account of them, according to every year, until a new work shall be effected.
New work?
And he showed me all their laws exactly as they are.
Huh.
Yo, I have no idea.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's confusing to me.
Yeah, Dr. Pigeon's version isn't so good right now. This is the first law of the luminaries. The sun and the light arrive at the gates of heaven, which are on the east, and on the west of it at the western gates of heaven. All right, so what does that say before we even begin? What does that say?
So basically, the sun comes from the east and goes to the west.
Yeah, and so it's the first law. Did you guys say the first law?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. 3, I beheld the gates whence the sun goes forth, and the gates where the sun sets. All right, so that... Go ahead, Eli.
Did you not say 6 portals?
Mine says doors. 6
Mine
doors.
says I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises and 6 portals in which the sun sets.
Yeah, mine says 6 doors.
Dude, I don't think we're here yet. I don't think I've gotten to where you guys are at or something.
Verse 3?
I beheld the gates whence the sun goes forth, and the gates where the sun sets.
And I saw
Yeah.
6 doors in which the sun rises, and 6 doors in which the sun sets.
Oh, okay, 6 doors, 6 on each side.
Yeah.
That's a lot of 6s. Okay. In which gates also the moon rises and sets, and the conductors of the stars among those who precede them, 6 at the rising and 6 at the setting of the sun. What you guys say?
And the moon rises and sets in these portals, and the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead, 6 in the east and 6 in the west.
Yep.
So there's like a messenger or an angel of some kind that's a leader of the stars. Wow, that's a crazy job.
Mine says leaders of the stars.
Leaders, yeah, I'm sure there's more. There's a lot of stars. I don't think one person's going to be able to, one thing, whatever these things are is going to be able to deal with this. Okay, so we have six gates. Okay, well, let's figure this out. All these respectively, one after another, are on a level, and numerous windows are on the right and on the left sides of those gates. All right, what do you guys have?
And all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Also, many windows to the right and left of these portals.
So there's windows on the sides of the portals?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. All right, it sounds like the rain is going to come. Could be a very quick one. First proceeds forth that great luminary, which is called the sun, the orb of which is as the orb of heaven, the whole of it being replete with splendid and flaming fire.
All right, something I want to mention there is it says an orb of fire. So we know it's like circular because an orb is circular, but it's never mentioned the earth is an orb. It always says like it's a plane, or it says something else like it's solid or it's immovable. But here we actually get a direct description of the sun, which is an orb.
Yeah, and the moon as well. I don't even know if the moon is an orb. It says it's a light.
Mine
Celestial light.
says it's a
Flat piece of paper.
circumference.
It says what?
A circumference.
A circumference? Instead of
That's
an
still
orb?
a
Yeah,
like
it's
circular
it's
thing.
round. Yeah.
Right.
All right, 7. Its chariot, where it ascends, the wind blows. This is your guys say that.
The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives.
The wind drives. Okay.
It's like the wind drives the chariot.
It's like
I don't know. Hold on, everybody. We have to settle the dogs out. We are so sorry about this. Is there? Okay, there's something disturbing the dogs. All right, let's see if we can, Cade, why don't you take off so we can get these dogs. All right, the sun sets in heaven, and returning by the north to proceed towards the east is conducted so as to enter by that gate and illuminate the face of heaven. Okay, so the sun sets in heaven.
mine says goes down from heaven and returns to the north in order to reach the east.
Okay, so it goes from the west, or goes from the east,
Drops down to the north.
goes to the west, and then goes up to the north and back to the east.
Returns through the north in order to reach the east.
So it spins around the north. It just makes a big old circle.
Yeah, it's just going around like this. So that's
a
why
circle,
certain
but then it
parts
goes
have
in the
sun.
gate. It must go in the gate for a certain amount of time. And hold on. We are so sorry, folks. Maybe we should pause this. That's just how this house erupts. So this is what life in the dog house is like. And so half the family is now getting one dog in that just came to the back door. And you had 9 other dogs decide that they were going to do what they just did. And now they're going crazy. And I'm just giving you guys a play-by-play of this because this is our life. And so if this was a sports game, I would just have given you the game as our life proceeds. All right, everyone, good?
Yeah.
Keep those dogs at bay. All right, everyone, again, super sorry. I guess I should cut that out, but I guess we'll just leave that in because that's the world. All right, so let's read this again. So we're coming out of the east. We go around to the west. So why would there be gates on the west, though, if it goes back through the north?
Maybe it needs a rest. I don't know. Maybe there's a certain point. Is there a certain point where all the Earth doesn't have sun, or is there always a part with sun?
Mine doesn't say anything about the west.
Mine doesn't. Mine said it goes down from the heaven and it returns through the north to reach the east.
We had 6 gates, though, right? We have 6
Yeah.
gates on the east, 6 gates on the west.
Right. So it goes. So the south. Did it miss the south?
This is what it says. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the Shamayim and returns through the north in order to reach the east. And so it's guided that he comes into that portal and shines in the face of the Shamayim.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that's saying there. Let's continue on. In the same manner it goes forth in the first month by the great gate, which goes forth through the fourth of those 6 gates which are at the rising of the sun. Okay? And in the 4th gate, from which the sun rises in the first month, there are 12 open windows, from which issues out a flame, when they are opened in their proper periods. All right, what do we got?
So I'm thinking like it goes through 4 gates in 1 month.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean 4 gates in 1 month?
And the 4th door is where the sun rises in the first month. So it goes from like in month 1 it goes from like 1 to 4.
Yeah. Well, it's going. That's what it's doing. It's going out of different gates.
How long
at
does it take
different
to get to 6 gates?
Well, I don't know. That's what we're about to figure out. But did you guys see what it's saying already? It's the 4th of those 6 gates which are at the rising sun. It goes forth. It goes forth through the 4th of those 6 gates which are the rising of the sun. So that would be the fourth of 6. 4 of 6 is where it would come out of when the sun rises. And then it says, go ahead.
This is what mine says. And in that 4th portal from which the sun rises in the first month are 12 window openings, from which proceed a flame when they are open in their season.
Okay, so there are 12 open windows, right? Well, the portals have windows, right? They sit on the side. Mm-hmm. And this is what it says again on this in verse 11. And in the 4th gate from which the sun rises in the first month, so month 1, 4th gate, there are 12 open windows from which issues out a flame when they are opened in their proper periods. So I think we're just talking like it looks magnificent or something, or like some windows are open and as the sun comes out, it bursts out flames or something. I don't know. All right, let's continue on. 12. When the sun rises in heaven, it goes forth through this 4th gate 30 days. And by the 4th gate in the west of heaven, on a level with it descends. All right, so that is saying there is a gate on the west side, right?
Right.
Okay. During that period, the day is lengthened from the day, and the night curtailed from the night for 30 days. And when the day is longer by 2 parts than the night, the day is precisely 10 parts, and the night is 8. Okay.
So these parts aren't hours.
One more time.
Because here it says there's 10 parts for the day and 8 parts for the night. So the parts aren't hours because that would only be 18 hours in a day.
No, they're not. I don't know. Whatever it is that it curtails, that takes from the sun to go.
Yeah, so it goes to like 18 different things.
Yeah. All right. It's 15. The sun goes forth from this 4th gate and sets in it, and turns to the 5th gate during the 30 days, after which it proceeds from and sets in the 5th gate. So it says it goes through the 4th. It starts in the east, it goes through the 4th, and then goes over to the 5th gate.
So for 30 days it's in the 4th.
Right.
And then for 30 days it goes to the 5th.
Did it say it went to the 5th, all of them?
No, it's just saying that it's returning to the 5th portal east 30 mornings.
Did it say it goes? Mine doesn't say it returns. Turns to the 5th gate during 30 days. Does that mean it turns? What did your guys say?
So mine says, and returns to the 5th door of the east 30 mornings, and rises from it and sets in the 5th door.
So I think it goes out the 4th gate, and it spins around, and it goes around, and it enters back in or something through the 5th gate or something.
No, because it said, mine's in 9, so I don't know what your verse is, but it says,
15.
and during this period the day becomes daily longer, and the night nightly shorter to the 30th morning. On that day, the day is longer than the night by 9th part, and the day amounts equally to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun rests from the 4th portal, and goes down in the 4th, and returns to the 5th portal in the east 30 mornings, and rises and goes down in the 5th portal.
So whatever it is, the 5th portal is farther away than the 4th portal.
But it's the next 30 days.
Right. So whatever it is. Okay. So if it's every 30 days, it was now in the 5th portal. It leaves it. Do we know for sure? Does everyone agree with this? It goes out the 5th.
What it sounds like to me.
All right. Anyone else have anything else? Eli, you have anything?
So okay, so I'm wondering about this. This sun is like it's like maybe farther out of the earth and closer into the center of the earth.
We don't. Well, you don't know what side they're
It
positioned
could be,
on.
yeah, but it could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Like if you have 6 gates, you have 1, 2 through 6. Every gate could be a little bit further away or different on
Right,
both
so
sides.
a wider, like less sun, more sun toward.
Right. So if it's further apart, you're going to get hours more of sun, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not going to set.
When the sun rises, it rises in a different spot every month. If you actually were to take a picture on the same day every month, like say the first of the month,
It does seem like that,
it
doesn't it?
rises in a different spot.
So right. So 30 days. So I don't know what month we're in right now, but whatever it is what gate's going to go out. All right. So let's continue on. I don't know where I was. Cade, where am I
I think
at?
15, 16.
Okay. Sets in the 5th gate. Then the day becomes lengthened by a second portion. so that it is 11 parts, while the night becomes shortened and is only 7 parts. The sun now returns to the east, entering into the 6th gate, and rising and setting in the 6th gate 31 days on account of its signs. Okay, so it says the day becomes lengthened by a second portion. So basically, it's the day becomes, so the further the gates get into it, the longer apart they are. Like the 6 gates have to be the furthest ones apart from each other, I think. Let's continue on. At that period, the day is longer than the night, being twice the night, and become 12 parts. But the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. Then the sun rises up, that the day may be shortened and the night lengthened.
So these gates are all different distances, I think.
That's what I keep saying. Is everyone catch what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, because here's it is. If it's a straight line and you have different gates, there would just be very small differentials. Like if you had something go out at like gate 1 and it went to gate 6, it just wouldn't have that much.
It's like
they have
funnel
to be
shaped. It's like V-shaped, I think.
Or yeah, but they have to be different parts. They like the further the gates, the further they have to be.
So could it be like on one side is backwards, like it starts left to right, 1 through 6.
One gate could be
and
up
then
more,
the other
and
side
the other-
starts
yeah, it could
right
be all
to
over the
left,
place.
1 through 6. So they kind of go across longer.
I don't know.
I think it
but
goes
whatever.
around, then goes back up, and then drops back down.
I don't know, and I don't know how big this stuff is. It's crazy stuff. All right, where are we at? Anyone?
We are on 20.
The sunrise. Okay, but the night. Let me read back to 19 real quick. But the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. Then the sun rises up, that the day may be shortened and the night lengthened. And the sun returns toward the east, entering into the 6th gate, where it rises and sets for 30 days. When that period is completed, the day becomes shortened precisely by 1 part, so that it is 11 parts, while the night is 7 parts. Nicole, do you have something?
Mine says the 6th portal is 31 mornings.
It does not say that. There's 30 on this one.
I wonder why they just have so many different things added in.
Who knows?
Taken away.
Translations are funky, I guess. All right, so the night is 7 parts. All right, 22. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then the sun goes from the west, from that 6th gate, and proceeds eastwards from the 5th gate for 30 days, setting again westwards in the 5th gate of the west. So that's going to make it you're going to lose an hour, right? One part of the time is going to go an opposite of what it just became. Okay, 23. At that period, the day becomes shortened at 2 parts and is 10 parts, while the night is 8 parts.
So basically, it starts over at the beginning again, I think? Because that was the same thing as the beginning, was the day was 10 parts and the night was 8 parts.
Yeah. Then the sun goes from the 5th gate as it sets in the 5th gate of the west and rises in the 4th gate for 31 days on account of its signs, setting in the west. It says it sets in the west, so it must go through the gate.
So
of
it
the
goes
west.
backwards.
And now it says 31.
Yours says 31? This one
So
says
it
31.
goes- yeah.
Did I say 31?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. At that period, the day is made equal with the night, and being equal with it, the night becomes 9 parts, and the day 9 parts. Okay. Then the sun goes from the gate as it sets in the west, and returning to the east, proceeds by the 3rd gate for 30 days, setting in the west at the 3rd gate. Setting in the west at the 3rd gate. Wow, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I guess
Mine says it sets in the 2nd portal in the west of the heaven.
setting in the 2nd portal. This is all goofy. All right, well, I'm glad most translations of the Torah are not like this.
Yeah.
This is hardcore.
You thought the laws were hard. These are harder.
Yeah, it is. Okay, 27. At that period, the night is lengthened from the day during 30 mornings, and the day is curtailed from the day during 30 days. The night being 10 parts precisely, and the day 8 parts. About the same again, right?
Yeah, except it's nighttime because now it's longer than the daytime.
Right. Okay, the sun now goes from the 3rd gate, as it sets in the 3rd gate on the west, but returning to the east, it proceeds by the 2nd gate of the east for 30 days. Okay. In like manner, also it sets in the 2nd gate in the west of heaven. At that period, the night is 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. So do we know that there is night longer than day? We don't have that here, do we?
It could be. I mean, if we okay. We gotta
So-
find out when the sun comes up.
Sun comes up at 5:50 a.m. here.
Yeah, like every
Always.
a little earlier, I think.
Yeah, somewhere
Like,
give or take.
And it
Because-
goes down about 6:50.
6:50. So that's full 12 hours of light.
But we're going on a different time schedule. Right here it says it divides 18 sections into 90 minutes. So basically we have 18 hours a day of 90 instead of 60 at 24. So if we went on that time, it might be different.
Maybe. I mean, it's just going to be slightly. The hours are going to be slightly longer.
You have like 10 hours in a day, and then you have 9 hours at night.
You're right. Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can go any more on this. Cade, where am I at?
You are on. I don't know.
Okay. Anyone?
Well, for me, it's like 24.
Yeah, we're returning to the east. It proceeds to the
I
second
think-
gate for 30 days. I'll do 29. In like manner, also it sets in the second gate in the west of heaven. At that period, the night is 11 parts and the day 7 parts. Then the sun goes at that time from the second gate as it sets in the second gate in the west, but returns to the east, proceeding by the first gate for 31 days, and sets in the west in the first gate.
So how does it get back to the gate before morning? It just.
I think it talks about going by the north. I think it goes in the west, and I don't know, somehow it proceeds back through the north.
And then it like drops down and runs back to the gate before
because
morning?
it keeps saying that when it makes it back to the east side, it goes in like the third gate where it's going to go out, right? So it actually goes in the gate, it's going to go out. This is crazy.
It's like it goes all the way from one side and then like dashes back before morning.
Yeah, it either dashes back or I don't know. Maybe it goes out. Maybe it chills out. Maybe it turns off on its return back. Maybe it's just the light turns off and it goes over there.
Maybe that's one of the moving stars we see at night.
That would be a huge moving star. That would be a monster.
But what if he's lower light? What if he just?
What if there'd be no light? I mean, it says it's going back. I mean, it could be totally off. Who knows? I don't know. All right. 32, and sorry, folks, and sets in the west in the first gate. At that period, that night is lengthened as much again as the day. It is 12 parts precisely, while the day is 6 parts. The sun is completed its beginnings, and a second time goes round from these beginnings. Into that gate it enters for 30 days. It sets in the west, in the opposite part. At that period, the night is contracted in its length, a fourth part, that is, one portion, and becomes 11 parts. The day is 7 parts. Then the sun returns and enters into the second gate of the east. It returns by these beginnings 30 days, rising and setting. At that period, the night is contracted in its length. It becomes 10 parts, and the day 8 parts. Then the sun goes from the second gate and sets in the west, but returns to the east and rises in the east in the third gate. 31 days, setting in the west of heaven. Okay, it definitely makes a trip back, right? It goes out of the gate and then somehow makes a trip back.
Somehow we don't see it.
So it's either something like a portal, or like a teleport or something, like it's like a wormhole or something that it just, the sun goes in.
Does he just snap back though? Maybe just like teleports back.
But it talks about it visibly, it comes back. I mean, it would have to like turn back on or something. You would think it'd turn back on before it entered the gate. Or it'd be like a real stealth entry. No one would even see it coming.
You know, the sun, it looks like it always goes up and over the top and then goes back down. Instead of like going like around.
You know, it depends on the perspective and where you're at. I mean, there's a lot of what they call the flat earth calculators, or it's like a time on the flat earth, and it shows, they have it mapped out to where it could be a perfect round circle where it actually lights up the entire world at the right time by just basically going in a circle, which it very well could do. So, I don't know. All right, 42. At that period, the night becomes shortened. It is 9 parts, and the night is equal with the day. The year is precisely 364 days. The lengthening of the day and night and the contraction of the day and night are made to differ from each other by the progress of the sun. By means of this progress, the day is daily lengthened and the night greatly shortened. This is the law and progress of the sun, and is turning when it turns back, turning during 60 days and going forth. This is the great everlasting luminary, for which he names the sun forever and ever. This also is that which goes forth a great luminary, and which is named after its peculiar kind, as Elohim commanded. And thus it goes in and out, neither slacking nor resting, but running on its chariot by day and by night. Its light is 7 times brighter than of the moon, but the dimensions of both are equal. All right. Well, there's another. If that is true right there, the last verse, it says the dimensions are equal. Everybody in school, we should all feel really foolish, because that is not what they teach us at all. They teach us that the sun is like huge, just a ginormous orb, and we're all circling around this as we're spinning around in our globe. So either the institutions of the world that are under government control are lying to us like rugs, or the Book of Enoch's lying. And I think that this basically clears things up for me. I mean, I don't see there being a round Earth, and none of this would work. You wouldn't. Can you imagine that your gates, all the sun would get sucked off into the vacuum of space or something? None of this would be real. So I don't believe there is such thing as a floating space station. I don't believe you can fire rockets up in the sky. I believe we're in a firmament, that we are closed in, and I mean this goes and proves just more and more and more. You know, I've never felt us bump anything like that. Anyone have anything?
I got nothing. It's really interesting. I guess I said the son has his own chariot, so he's riding away on his own thing. Yeah, teach your kids this stuff before they get indoctrinated, before people tell them it's
Well,
wrong.
yeah, don't send your kids to school. Never send them to school, and teach them. You know, the first thing you see in any school is a round spinning Earth
On top of teachers' desks.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Yeah, so all right, let's do 73. I don't think this is too long. After this law, I beheld another law of an inferior luminary, the name which is the moon, and the orb of which is as the orb of heaven. All right, did you guys say orb?
Or circumference.
Mine says orb, like a sphere.
Sphere. Okay, so it's round, right? So the moon is round.
Cool.
Its chariot secretly ascends, the wind blows, and the light is given to it by measure. Every month at its exit and entrance it becomes changed, and its periods are as periods of the sun. And when the moon is full, its light is a seventh portion from the light of the sun. Okay, so that's what I had a question about, because it said it was 7 times brighter. It's the 7 times brighter at the full moon, right? So it has to be completely, the sun is really super bright, obviously.
Which it is tonight.
The full moon is full tonight?
Yeah, it's I can tell that the moon shines in my window and blows my room up.
Oh, man. All right. Let's see. It's the 7th portion. Thus it rises, and at its commencement towards the east goes forth for 30 days. At that time it appears, and becomes to you the beginning of the month. 30 days with the sun in the gate from which the sun goes forth. It follows the same sun. So it goes out, everything, right?
Yeah.
So
basically they're chasing each other.
we've been told, or our parents, I guess, were told, that they took and launched a giant rocket ship up into the sky, and they supposedly landed on the moon. But they never ever wondered who was the film guy that actually filmed the guy stepping off the rocket.
They left him on the moon.
How did he get up there first? How did he?
He
how
was
did he
the first
film
man
this?
on the moon.
Yeah, he was the first man. There's another rocket.
His
we
name
were
needs
told
to be
about.
that book.
Yeah. All right. So, for thus it rises, and its commencement towards the east goes forth for 30 days. At that time it appears and becomes to you the beginning of the month. I already read this here. It sets with the sun. Okay, 6. Half of it in extent. Cade, you still with me, buddy? Mm-hmm. All right. Half of it is in extent 7 portions. 1, and the whole of its orb is void of light, except a 7th portion out of the 14 portions of its light. Isn't there 14 days before a full moon? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is why you get a full moon. And in a day, it receives a 7th portion or a half of its light. Its light is by 7s. By 1 portion and by half, it sets with the sun. All right, so that makes sense, Nicole?
Yep.
All right, so you're the big calendar studying person.
So I was kind of studying this part because somebody had said that the full moon was the beginning of the month.
Okay.
But if you read down further, it'll explain that a little bit further.
Okay. All right, so 7. And when the sun rises, the moon rises with it, receiving half a portion of light. Okay, hold on here. So the moon, that's why we can see the moon and the sun in the same, it's like, everyone's like, well, here's the gig, man. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and the moon is on the other side of the world every time. But yet you can look up sometimes in the middle of the day, and you see the moon. You can see it like right up next to the sun. It's like right next to each other. Why? Because it says that right there. Okay. So it receives a half a portion of light. On that night, verse 8, when it commences its period, previously to the day of the month, the moon sets with the sun. And on that night it is dark 14 portions, that is half. But it rises on that day with 1/7 portion precisely, and in its progress declines from the rising of the sun. So a new moon is going to be 1/7 of this portion, right?
Yep, the beginning of the crescent.
With 1/7 portion precisely. But how does that work for 14 days, though? If it's getting 1/7 a day, that would have to be 1/14 a day. Oh, it says it says right there, and on that night it is dark 14 portions, that is half, but it rises on that day with 1/7 portion precisely, and in its progress declines from the rising of the sun. Okay, so there's 14 portions, which makes sense. So it has to get like 1/14 a day, right? Before it becomes full.
Yeah, it has to
Is
say.
anyone with me?
Yeah, so it actually gets a 14th portion.
So the new moon would absolutely be the sliver, without a shadow of a doubt.
It tells you that.
Okay. So I mean, that's what it'd have to be if this is correct, because if it was a full moon, then you would already be at the end of the cycle, this moon cycle.
Well, and it would have told you in all of this right here that when it was a full moon, it was a new month, but it doesn't say that.
Yeah.
So
right.
keep reading.
All right. That's it for 73. Let's go into 74 then.
No, I'm still in 73.
Okay, well, 74 looks long. Let's begin. Then I saw another progress and regulation, which he effected in the law of the moon. The progress of the moons and everything Uriel showed me, the holy angel who conducted them all. Now mine says progress of the moons. It says it says the law of the moon. It says the progress of the moons.
Which says law of her.
Where are you even
Law for
at?
her.
Well, it's 74 in the Sefer, Dr. Stephen Pigeon.
Mine's
Sefer.
74 as well. Yours would be just the first down.
Kate, what does yours say?
Mine's 73. It's the same thing as yours. It says
Moons?
He affected the law of the moon, the progress of the moons.
Mine just says, and I saw another course, a law for her, how according to that law she performs her monthly revolution.
Well, I would say
Mine
right here
says journey.
they've completely burned this because it talks about only 2 lights, and so it wouldn't be moons. So this should be a no-brainer, I think, on the translation team. Maybe a spanking or something. They missed this one. Okay, the progress of the moons and everything. Moon, right? Uriel showed me the holy angel who conducted them all. Their stations I wrote down as he showed them to me. I wrote down their months as they occur and the appearance of their light until it is completed in 15 days. Okay, so the full moon is at the end of 15 days. Do we go back?
Yeah, it starts going down.
So is it 2 full moons every month?
No.
What?
Okay.
So 15 days to get it. So it starts with this little sliver. It
I
goes
know it
15
sounded
days.
retarded, but I'm like, this is the math.
Okay. So it starts. It is a little tiny sliver, right?
Right.
And it works up 15 days that way. Then it works 15 days to get back down to the sliver.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't restart.
Right. So
And
it's
then
just
it goes back.
losing.
It's like this.
It goes full and then it goes down.
It's like a solar panel just doesn't charge as much or something.
Right. So okay. I think at some point it says it's charged by the sun.
Cool.
Okay. I wrote down their months as they occur and the appearance of their light until it's completed in 15 days. In each of its 2 7 portions, it completes all its light at rising and at setting. On stated months, it changes settings, and on stated months, it makes its progress on each. In 2, the moon sets with the sun, in which 2 gates which are in the midst. In the 3rd and 4th gate, it goes forth for 7 days and makes its circuit.
Hold on.
That's rough.
In 2 months, the moon goes down with the sun. In those 2 middle portals, the 3rd and the 4th. She goes forth for 7 days and turns about and returns again through the portal where the sun rises and accomplishes all her light. And she recedes from the sun and in the 8th day enters the 6th portal from which the sun goes forth.
So the moon is a female, right?
Yep.
So that's a she.
Yep.
Mine doesn't say anything like that.
Mine says her and she all the time.
Okay, so anyone want to take a stab at what that just said?
So basically, it goes to the middle gates, and like she's basically following the sun, but it's definitely a slower pace.
But it would be at the morning she would come out, right?
In the morning, she's disappearing.
Oh yeah, I guess it could be a slow pace too. It rises and sets because I mean it still has to show up for us.
Yeah, and show for everybody else.
So how is that even possible? How is this possible that other people in the world can see a new moon? How are we all able to see this moon when it's like this?
Maybe just that big. Maybe it's that high up in the air. We can see it.
I think it just cruises out there, and I think it just has light. I think it's just gets powered up by the sun, and you're only able to see it as it gets fuller. I don't know. I really need to study this stuff. I don't know. All right, where are we at?
6.
6. Okay. Again, it returns to the gate whence the sun goes forth, and in that completes the whole of its light. Then it declines from the sun and enters in 8 days into the 6th gate from which the sun goes forth. Okay, so then it's now talking about declining its light. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's amazing. Yah creates the coolest stuff ever. Okay, when the sun proceeds to the 4th gate, it goes forth for 7 days until it passes from the 5th. Again, it returns in 7 days to the 4th gate and completing all of its light, declines and passes on by the 1st gate in 8 days. and returns in the 7 days to the fourth gate from which the sun goes forth. Thus I beheld their stations, and according to the fixed order of the months, the sun rises and sets. At those times there is an excess of 30 days belonging to the sun in 5 years. All the days belonging to each year of the 5 years, when completed, amount to 364 days, and to the sun and stars belong 6 days. 6 days in each of the 5 years, 30 days belonging to them. Wow, what does that say?
So I think it's saying that every 5 years, you have to add on an extra day. So it's like a leap year type of deal.
Is that where the 13th month or something comes in?
Possibly. So this is what mine says. And if 5 years are added together, the sun has an excess of 30 days. And all the days which increase to it for one of those 5 years, when they are full, amount to 364 days. And an excess of the sun and the stars amounts to 6 days. In 5 years, 6 days every year come to 30 days. And the moon falls behind the sun and the stars to the number of 30 days.
25, 30. So that would be 6 years in every year. So if it's 5 times 6 is 30, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be 30 days because you're getting 6 days per year extra. Mm-hmm. And so you...
So every 5 years, you basically add another month, I think is what it's saying.
Add another month.
But you still have your 364 days, which I don't know.
So is that saying every 5 years is where that 13th month came into, or whatever it was with the Torah calendar, folks?
And it might be. Because how many days did it say before? Did it say 354 or 364?
Yeah, this is not clear at all.
Before it said 364.
Clear as mud,
still
folks.
said 364.
There's way too many numbers to comprehend here.
364. So I don't understand how if we add 30 more days, that you would still have 364 days.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like 394 days.
I don't get it either. All right, let's continue. 12. So that the moon has 30 days less than the sun and stars. The moon brings... Okay, so what does it say? So the moon has 30 days less than the sun and stars. Okay, so that would make sense if the sun, if you adding in... Okay, wow, so that would be... Would that mean you calculate the moon differently on that 5th year or something? I don't know. All right. Anyway, sorry, guys, we have no idea. The moon brings on all the years exactly, that their stations may come neither to forwards nor to backwards a single day, but that the years may be changed with correct precision in 364 days. In 3 years, the days are 1,092. In 5 years, they are 1,820. And in 8 years, 2,912 days. Is your guys' numbers all the same?
Yeah. Yep. I just times those for sure, and they're all 364.
364?
So I don't think it changes in 5 years.
Nothing changes in 5 years?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so scratch that from the record. I have no idea. So maybe somebody out there can know. Okay, 14. To the moon alone belong in 3 years 1,062 days. In 5 years it has 50 days less, for an addition being made to the 62 days. In 5 years there are 1,770 days, and the days of the moon in 8 years are 2,832 days. Wow, I don't have any idea. Anyone have any?
Just 2,000?
2,832 days.
Mine says 21,832.
21,000?
I think that must be a
wow.
typo. That has to be a typo.
Yeah, that can't be right. Okay.
I actually clicked a 1 or something in there.
Yep. Okay, 15. For its days in 8 years are less... Okay, for its days in 8 years are less 80 days, which 80 days are its diminution of 8 years. So here are dogs over there chucking. I am so sorry. Now something's chucking. All right. 16. Sorry, everyone. The year then becomes truly complete according to the station of the moon and the station of the sun, which rise in the gates, which rise and set in them for 30 days. Does everybody have the same?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing different.
Not really, no.
All right. Let's take a look. Is 75 long or short? It's all right. Let's clear up 75. We'll call this one good. These are the leaders of the chiefs of thousands, which are over all creation and over all the stars, with the 4 which are added and never separated from the place allotted them, according to the complete calculation of the year.
Does it mean the 4 days which are added, and I think we're missing like some part of something here, because He just jumped into like something else.
Yeah, does anyone have anything?
It just says 4 days, not just 4.
So I don't know why we're talking about the leaders now, but here, let's see it. And these serve 4 days, which are not calculated in the calculation of the year. All right, now what's it saying? Nicole, you know this?
No,
Nothing?
I didn't. Mine that I kind of studied in was in 78, so we haven't got there yet.
Okay, so I don't know what this means about the 4 days, and they're not being calculated in the year. Respecting them, men greatly err. For these luminaries truly serve in the dwelling place of the world 1 day in the first gate, 1 in the third gate, 1 in the fourth gate, and 1 in the sixth gate. All right.
I have no idea at
I'm
this
going to
point.
start at the beginning of mine.
All right.
It says, and the leaders of the heads of the thousands, who are placed over the whole creation and over all the stars, have also to do with the 4 interclades, being inseparable from their office according to the reckoning of the year, and these render service on 4 days, which are not reckoned in the reckoning of the year. And the owning to them men go astray therein, for those lights truly render service on the world stations, 1 in the first portal, 1 in the third portal, 1 in the Shamayim, 1 in the fourth portal, and 1 in the sixth portal.
Where does yours get Shamayim?
And the exactness of the year is accomplished through the separate 364 stations.
So this is where I think people like really fall down when they're keeping like the lunar Sabbath. Is a lot of people will see the new moon and like swap up like a new month, or they swap a new week instead of the new month. And so if you
They do both.
They do both. Yeah, we've seen people that do both of this, and so we'll be outside of the cycles of 7 when we do that. But it is very clear that the new moon, is the beginning of the month, and it goes from, as long as you can figure that out, you can figure out where the beginning is.
And it does tell you that in 78 when we get there.
Oh, okay. All right, and 4. And the harmony of the world becomes complete, every 364th state of it, for the signs. Did you guys say
It
that?
says stations of the world.
Stations of the world. Jade,
Yeah.
you have stations of the world?
Yep.
Mine just says stations.
All right, it says the seasons, the years, and the days Uriel showed me, the angel whom Yahuwah of glory appointed over all the luminaries of heaven and earth and in the world, that they might rule in the face of the sky and peering over the earth, become conductors of the days and nights, the sun, the moon, the stars, and all the ministers of heaven, which make their circuit with all the chariots of heaven. All right, what do we got here?
It makes the revolution in all the chariots of heaven. So
We're talking about the heavenly band here. Is this?
I
what
think
we're
it's
saying?
people who like work the sun, maybe.
Yeah, work the sky. There are people that are working all this stuff. So I don't think any of this stuff is just like natural. It just
Mine says ministering begins, which they make their revolution in their chariots of the Shamayim.
ministering begins, and that could be it. I mean, conductors of the days and night. They could be the sun, the moon, the stars. Those could be the conductors. I mean, that we're looking at.
Mine says the sun, the moon, the stars, and all the serving creatures who revolve in all the chariots of heaven.
Yeah, so I guess there are other things. There's all sorts of stuff. All right, 10. This Uriel showed me 12 gates open for the circuit of the chariots of the sun in heaven, from which the rays of the sun shoot forth. Everyone same? Mm-hmm. From there proceeded heat over the earth. When they are opened in their stated seasons, they are for the winds and the ruach of the dew. When in their seasons they are open in heaven at extremities. 12 gates I beheld in heaven, at the extremities of the earth, through which the sun, moon, and stars, and all the works of heaven proceed at their rising and setting. Many windows also are open on the right and on the left. One window at a season grows extremely hot. So also are there gates from which the stars go forth as they are commanded, and in which they set according to their number. I saw likewise the chariots of heaven running in the world above to those gates in which the stars turn, which never set. One of these is greater than all, which goes around the whole world. All right, that's interesting. I don't even know what that's talking about. What is going around the whole world? What does that mean?
Sun.
Okay, so it's basically cruising around here.
Yeah, and the other stars, they just spin in place. They don't move.
Okay. Anyone have anything else? Nicole, you have anything else for that last little part?
No.
So basically
Mine says
12
the
gates.
same.
I don't understand the 12 gates. We know about the 6 gates. But now we're talking about 12 gates.
I think it's a 12, 6 on each side.
Yeah, I think it's
Going back and forth, and they run their course, right? They have like
Oh, okay.
I think the slave drivers, and then like of the sun and the moon, and then like their
Slave
chariots.
drivers.
I think that's what it is. I think it's the angels
Yeah,
escorting the sun in his chariot, following up behind him or in front of him or however it goes, and they're working like that, and that's how it works.
Wow. Well, there we are, and I guess that
It's just really confusing how like everything is broken up and all translations are like different. There's a lot of mixed numbers and things were pulled together, so it's really hard to understand. So we got to use a little bit of a studying with this.
Yeah, one day when we actually get this full book and we can actually see what the heck it is, we'll probably be very shocked with how either wrong or how close. That is it. We will sign off here because we have some very bad dogs, and we love you guys very, very much. Anything else you guys have for anybody?
Read your Bible. See you tomorrow night at Youth for Yah at 6 o'clock our time.
Yep, Youth for Yah tomorrow night live. All right, guys. Much love, everyone.
Shalom.
Shalom and goodbye.